Design, colors and typography and AI in Notion. Welcome! We're in week 7 and day 43 of our 100 days of Notion video tutorials. Today we're going to focus on design and typography, starting from the basics with what Notion can do on its own. Thank you so much for joining. It means a lot to me to have you here. Let's dig in. Design and typography in Notion. Sometimes it feels like Notion is deliberately trying to avoid any kind of design going on. It's honestly quite hard to design really thought-through layouts and concepts in Notion, but there are a few tricks that are really good to know about. Today we're focusing on the basics, and then throughout the week we're going to get gradually more and more advanced and show what's truly possible in Notion. We're looking at page settings and the built-in options of Notion. How much can you really change without going into too detailed things and start styling the individual blocks? I start by creating a page. I call it My Blog Article About Notion. And then I did what any self-respecting creator would do these days, fired up ChatGPT, asked it to create a blog post. I go to chat.openai.com to access ChatGPT. You could, of course, equally well use the Notion AI system as well, but I thought it would be nice to show the Notion community there are some options if that's what you're looking for. ChatGPT, similar to a few other tools out there today, is a conversational AI, and that means that you can provide it with quite detailed instructions and it will do the best to follow. There are a few pre-built examples here that you can start with, but I simply write my own prompt. So, write me a whimsical blog article about Notion. It should focus on the prose in a fun and engaging way. It should be 300 words long and start with a limerick. Let's press this little icon down here and see what ChatGPT comes up with. As you can see, ChatGPT successfully created a 300-word article about Notion. It kind of misunderstood us a little bit, so it created the entire thing as a limerick. Now you have a few different options. You could go back to the prompt and make it even more clear for the language processor to figure out what we want. Or you could simply hope for the best and press regenerate response and hope that you get something different. So we're going to press regenerate response and see what happens. This time around it looks like ChatGPT was a lot more successful, so we get a little limerick in the start here and then we got a bit of a normal article for the rest of the text. So this is perfect. I'm happy with this and I would gladly post it on every channel I have immediately without any changes. So I'll copy the text and I'll paste it into Notion so we can get on with the formatting. This is text I'm going to use for all the episodes this week as a starting point, so I'll put it away in a safe place here and make a copy by alt dragging. Click into the page, rename it, and we're off. As we've been talking about already, the styling options in Notion are quite limited, especially when looking at the full page level. The main styling options are in the page menu up in the top right. We can toggle full width here and also set the small text to true or false. You can combine these or add them one at a time, and if you do full width and small text you get a very small text, very long lines and almost impossible to read. So we'll revert this to the standard setting. You can also zoom in and out. Control or Command plus zooms in and Control or Command minus zooms out. The zoom setting is not persisted in Notion, it's just something that is true for your view, so that will stay across multiple pages for you and not affect anyone else. Back in the page menu, we have 3 options for font styling. The default font style, which is a sans serif font, meaning quite clean, no feet on the letters. Then we have the serif font, where we get these feet. The newsletter classical style, which many feel improve legibility, especially on printed media. Then we have the Monospace style, traditionally from typewriters, where each letter had the same space horizontally. This is quite handy if you're trying to do some ASCII art. It's quite popular in the programming community. Some feel it gives a nice, funky, modern view to the pages. Since this is a blog article, we'll use the serif font style for now. The only real other setting for full page styling we have in Notion is to be able to set the icon and the cover image. You already know these, of course, but we'll set them for good measure. Great, and now we have our finished page. That was easy, right? We're actually going to end things here today and pick them up in the next episode. I hope you liked this little quick intro. The next episode is going to focus on titles and how to make those stand out. Both the main title of the document and also section titles and what possibilities we have there. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. I thank you very much for joining and hope to see you in the next one.